Welcome to American Trash Culture. Today we're talking Star Wars, alright? Star Wars talk. We're going to talk about the hate. Where does this hate come from? How did it get started? Okay? If you understand anything about life, things grow from a seed. You know, every hatred starts somewhere. You know, where is it from? Has it always been with the fans, or has the critics the ones who started the hate? I mean, they're the ones who have the voices out there first. There's the one. Nobody else. But their voice is always first. Okay? So, let's do this thing. Okay? Now, let's talk about the original 3 Star Wars. A New Hope, Empire, Return of the Jedi. Okay? Now, I was born in 1973. So, 78, 79 when Star Wars was out. And movies back then, when they came out, if they're a good enough movie, they'll actually play it almost every summer. You know, so that was great. But I remember Star Wars was the first movie I ever saw. Okay? 5, 6 years old. Saw the big ship fly over. I was hooked. I was hooked by sci-fi. After Star Wars, I got invested in Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica. I mean, I needed more science fiction. Okay? And then Empire, Return of the Jedi. I was still under the age of 12. Those movies changed my life. Changed the way I think. Changed the way how movies should be. I mean, it was incredible. What George Lucas was able to do was just fantastic. And I understand when George Lucas came out and said to people that he made this movie for 12-year-olds. I understood that. Because I saw the original Star Wars, all 3, at the movie theaters under the age of 12. You know, so I was a fan from the beginning. You know, I never even saw a trailer to The New Hope when it came out. All you saw was a poster. You know, Luke Skywalker's up here, you know, look like he had like, big muscles. He really didn't. But the poster itself was the trailer. And the movie was amazing. Okay? Now, was there hate with the first original 3 Star Wars? No. For one thing, it was brand new. They were inventing new technology to bring you this movie that you never thought it was possible to make on the big screen. I mean, a lot of the stuff they used was handmade. I mean, it was just fantastic. I mean, it just blew you away. Okay? So, and there's things that George wanted to do. You know, he's a great storyteller. There's things he wanted to do he just couldn't do because he didn't have the technology to do it. So when he finally got some technology, he wanted to add some scenes to it. That's fine. He always wanted to. He just never had the technology. They're his movies. Go for it. You know, I don't have to sit there and say, I love those extra scenes. But you know, he put them in. I accepted them. I enjoyed them. Okay? You know, about 10 years later, the technology has advanced so much. When movies like Jurassic Park came out, you're like blown away with the special effects. George Lucas had the toys he needed to really make the vision of the movie he wanted. Okay? He decided to do it in the prequels. Okay? Like I said, he made it for 12-year-olds. Now, at that time, I'm a lot older. You know, I'm in my 20s. You know, so I remember watching the prequels. You know, the special effects that he had to play with was fantastic. The sound was great. Now, Jar Jar character, in my opinion, is probably, you know, the worst character of Star Wars. But I understand. He was making elements of the movie for 12-year-olds and under. Because you know he had to do some dark tones that's over 12. He had to. I mean, Darth Vader, Anakin becoming Darth Vader, you're going to have to put even more dark tones in this. But he had to keep some stuff alive for 12-year-olds. So I understand that. Okay? Then, what happened after all the prequels came out? Who started bashing the prequels? Now, YouTube, you know, internet, it wasn't new, but it was kind of new. So most of the stuff you didn't really watch YouTube for reviews. You still read it. You still listen So most every reviews and voices all came from who? The critics. All of them came from the critics. And that's where the hatred actually started. Okay? Now, some of you guys think, no. It was the fans who started hatred. No, the fans just jumped on the bandwagon that some of these critics have done. Now, I'm not going to talk about every single critic out there. I'm not going to go through all of them. But let's just find an example of a critic who Lucasfilm apparently loves because this guy gets invited to all those Star Wars functions. Okay, let's talk about John Campea. Okay, review, Lucasfilm loves him. He gets invited. You know, he's very highly respected, I guess, in Hollywood. Okay, now he gives prequels Revenge 7 out of 10 times. But if you listen to him now, what does he always say? I hate the prequels. I hate the prequels. Constantly. Calls them all garbage. Every movie garbage. But he gave it 7 out of 10. How's it garbage? I mean, this is I'm reading this from John Campea's own words that he wrote down in his review. The Phantom Menace was not a good movie, but I still enjoyed watching it. And unlike many people, I actually still believe Attack of the Clones was a good film, with a couple of major weaknesses. I'll try to keep it short. Attack of the Clones was actually a good movie. Revenge of the Sith, 7 out of 10 times. He liked it. He didn't give it no A+, but it's far different what he said now. I hate the prequels. Why did he change so much? What made it change from loving the movies and then start turning into hate? Okay, now I'm going to scroll down. You know, I'm going to have this posting. There's a website below. You can post it. You can read it yourself. So you know, I'm just not changing the words. Okay. Now, of course, this is what he said about George Lucas in a way, in his thing. Lines that were so cheesy, you couldn't believe someone didn't say, Lucas, you don't seriously want her to say that, do you? I mean, if you read part of it, Campea went after George Lucas, which many other critics did too. Went after George Lucas, the maker, the man who brought us Star Wars and was bringing us more. They're bashing him, calling him cheesy, calling him this, forgetting that, listen, most of us who saw the original Star Wars, we were 12 and under. We were young kids. We're watching the prequels older. Okay, we're a lot older. So there's going to be some things that might seem more cheesier, but it was also designed for kids. You got to understand that Star Wars is made for all ages. Okay? Now, I'm going to scroll down here some more about hate. This is what his cover thing about Padme. Padme sucks. Right off the bat. Padme sucks. You want to start hatred? That's where you start your seed. Padme sucks. That's what he wrote. The worst part of the film, and that part that I'm sure will ruin Revenge of the Sith for many people, is Padme's character. Already bashing a young girl. A young actress. An actress who had problems finding a job because the backlash that she got from these critics. Wasn't from the fans. Their message wasn't out there known yet as much as critics. Critics bashed them. I mean, in John Campea's cover, Padme sucks. Padme sucks. Okay? And it gets more. The lines she had were worse than the previous two films put together and made her sound far more annoying than Jar Jar ever was. Oh, now she's worse than Jar Jar. He's picking on a girl who started with the prequels, the first one, at 13 years old. Okay? So, as a matter of fact, this is the first thing I said walking out of the theater. Wow, Padme is the new Jar Jar. I'm not exaggerating here, folks. She is just terrible. It's so bad that about halfway through the film, you just visibly cringed when you saw her on film, on screen. Because you know it was going to be bad. Wasn't blaming George Lucas there. They're saying, well, it wasn't the actor's fault. It was George Lucas who wrote it. No, he was blaming her. Padme sucks. Boom. Dude, people, this is what I'm trying to get at. Critics start to anger. And there's more. That John Campy has said, the scenes with Padme alone are enough to give you flashbacks of the worst parts of the first two sequels. And this person, this actress, had an issue finding movies for years because of all the backlash she got. So John Campia, these people are part of the issue. And who the hell's John Campia? He produced a movie called, what was it, The Anniversary? Freaking sucks. The Room was better than that movie. That piece of garbage. Who is he to put down a little girl? He should have said, George Lucas should have wrote it better to give this person better lines. So, but no. Big words. Padme sucks. Critics. Okay? Now, because the critics hit George Lucas so hard, he didn't want to make no more. The critics killed his spirit. They killed it. I mean, they killed his spirit. But that was the beginning stages of showing hatred. Okay? Now, people watch the news. CNN, Fox News, and all that. Why do you watch? You don't watch it for good stories. You watch it because you like the anger. You like bad things happening. Even though you don't, people watch news and stuff because people are attracted to bad stuff. Okay? Critics plant the seed, everybody runs with it. Man, he's right. Padme does suck. She doesn't deserve it. Be an actress in the movie theaters at all. She shouldn't be out there. She's bad. I mean, the guy who played Jar Jar came out and said he was thinking about committing suicide because the critics planted the seed of anger, hatred. They wrote it. They caused it. And now caused Lucas to sell Star Wars because he wanted to make more. But he was bad. People are calling him too dumb. He can't write anymore. He's too crazy. Okay? Now he's sold to Lucasfilm. Disney owns him. I mean, look, he owns, I'm sorry. Yeah, Disney owns Lucasfilm now, okay? And he left Kathleen Kennedy in charge, who worked under him for so many years and brought you good movies. Okay? Now Disney owns him. Okay? People jumped on already. Jumped on Disney for owning him. Calling them names. Force Awakens came out. Great movie. Good movie. 12-year-olds will absolutely love it and older people love it. But critics are bashing it, saying it was too close to like the originals. They started planting the seeds. And now, because you have YouTube channels, guess what? Where are you going to get your views? Where are you going to get your likes? You're not going to get it by saying nice things in life. Yeah, you'll get some views and likes. You're going to say it if you have a lot of hatred. A lot of hatred. Okay? Now, people say, no, it's just the fans are angry. I'm going to play you a clip. I want you to listen to this clip from a show that Kristian Harloff was on and see how crazy he gets on his meltdown and basically is telling people, fuck you, fuck you. So I want you to hear this.
Telling me this is a bad film.
Well, wait a minute. So a lot of your points, I understand. But here's the thing, though, too. I think
but
that's
I didn't make a point.
No, but
yeah.
well, I'm set up. You did make a point.
Okay.
You just.
Oh wait, no,
it's not a bad film.
Hold on, it's not a bad film.
Right, well, fine. You made your point. So you absolutely made a point. That was the point.
That's a really good one.
But yeah, exactly. He said.
Wait, but what's your
hold
point?
on. Wait. Let me finish. Because what I'm saying is that everything you said there is valid, but it is hypocritical if we're going to call out people for saying that you can't say like if they can't yell at you for certain things, like you actually you didn't like this film because this, you can't say to Beardo, how do you not like this film? Like how do you say?
That's not what I'm saying.
Sorry, how could you say this? How could you say this is not a good film? Is what you said? How did you say this is not a masterclass? Because he's saying his opinion. He thought it was sloppy. I don't agree with that take. I actually agree with your take.
No, that's valid too. But
Can I say it's a bad sweater?
It's a terrible sweater.
I didn't.
Can I say that? But I think we got to be on the same page here.
But
You know
I
what
didn't
I'm
say it
saying?
was sloppy. Beardo said it was sloppy. I didn't say it was sloppy.
Right.
I said I was under. No, but he pulled me into his world.
But it doesn't matter. The point is,
I was underwhelmed.
Yeah,
me too.
and you're entitled to that.
Yeah.
The thing is, what I'm saying is that no one should tell you and look at you and say, wait a minute, you weren't underwhelmed. You need to see it again, and then you won't be underwhelmed.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. Like, for me, like, I'm telling you, you fucks, that when I go to see the movie the first time,
Don't call 'em fucks,
I was,
you.
no, for the ones who tell me that you didn't really like it, you
This
were
is for the
forcing
fucks.
yourself to like it. No, ass face. I looked at the movie when I watched it the second time, and I re-saw it a different way, and I liked it. You might not have felt that way. You might have felt exactly different. You might have said, I fucking hated this movie the first time, and I hated it even more the second time. And good on you for doing it. The point is that every single person in this room, behind that camera, leave each other the fuck alone when they want to have opinions on what they want to think. You can think whatever the fuck you want to think. Leave people alone. And it is not fucking wrong to be passionate about Star Wars. It's not fucking wrong to be passionate about any movie that you like. Going to Comic-Cons, going to Celebration, and you think it is, and you think, oh, well, you're too old to be doing it. Fuck you. Fuck you in the face. Because you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want and be passionate about it. Fuck you for making fun of people for being passionate about their shit. Go suck on a fucking toad fart.
Okay, you hear that? They have so much hatred, okay? Mark Riley, who was sitting on that couch, Mark Ellis, who was sitting on that fucking table, what did they say all about Solo before it came out? They kept talking about how the production was bad, how the Kathleen Kennedy firing, that she doesn't know what she's doing, they were bad, the mouthing it from the freaking beginning. And when you keep saying the words, I don't want a Solo, you already cause issues. You already cause problems in the movie. Hasn't even started. And then there's already hatred brewing because it became cool to hate. You know half those shows don't really hate the Star Wars, but they got more likes and views. You know it because when they say, you prove your point by not seeing Solo. Well, he did. This guy saw it for his people. What a hypocrite. Didn't get for views. Now Kathy Kennedy should be fired. She doesn't know what she's doing. They know what they're doing. They're creating movies for all ages to like. Some people are getting older, not understanding that, thinking movies are made just for them. And critics, they're jumping on the bandwagon too. But no, actually, they're reversing their bandwagon since the hatred has gone to where they're at, going over. Now they're complaining about them, about how they're ruining the franchise, they're ruining the Star Wars love. No, fuckers, you caused it. You planted that seed. It was all from you. So how can you sit there and blame everything that these people hated, which I know they're all hypocrites. We know that. But if you just keep your freaking mouth shut and stop talking about these hated people, they'll just go away. Stop giving them free publicity. I mean, you're all responsible for this hate. I would love to see 2 or 3 Star Wars a year because I love science fiction. Why do I go to every superhero movie that comes out? Because I love science fiction. I want to escape reality and have a good time. I saw Solo over 4 times at the theater. Every time I sing it, I'm loving it. It gets better and better and better. It's a great movie. But the problem is, thanks to Mark Riley, Mark Ellis, they already all planted the seed. And then, Kristian Harloff and freaking John Campea, they know how to switch the mood to match whatever's going to get them more likes and views. And of course, they're going to switch the how they feel because they want to get invited to more movies. They're going to tell you it's not true. You heard how angry Harloff. They do it because that's the new way to get more views, to get more likes. They planted the seed. It's growing. And now they want to blame all this hatred when they started it. These people who couldn't make it in Hollywood, these critics couldn't make it. They couldn't act. They couldn't produce. They couldn't write. So what they do? They talk about other movies. And act like they know how movies should be made. If it was that freaking easy, why don't they go and work for them? Why don't Harloff, Ellis, Riley go get jobs on Lucasfilm and say, hey, we know how to write it. We know what the fans want. We can make a better one than what you guys are doing. Go out and do it. Stop complaining. Shut up and make a good movie. Okay? Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, I'm backing you guys 100%. Just make them the way you want to make them. You know what? Not every movie's going to be perfect. I know that. For me, my new list in order of the Star Wars, I put Revenge of the Sith higher than The Last Jedi. Doesn't mean I hate it, because I've said to people that every single Star Wars movies are all above average. So even though I might put Phantom Menace dead last, or no, Attack of the Clones dead last for me, this is above average movie. So they're up there, you know. So like I said, so now my new listing is basically Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, The Last Jedi, Revenge of the Sith. Okay, then it goes Solo, Rogue One, Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens, Empire Strikes Back. I'm sorry, Star Wars, New Hope, then Empire Strikes Back. Okay, that's my new list. All right, so a prequel is better than one of these films, but they're all good. They're all above average. Okay, so people, relax. Let Lucasfilm do what they need to do. Get us more great movies. I'm glad, at least Disney, you know, you guys already killed George Lucas. You already hurt him, where he didn't want to make no more. At least Disney was willing to spend the money, pay the money to get us even more Star Wars. Even though they're not all coming out the way you wanted to, at least we're getting them. Okay? You know, they're not all going to be fantastic and great. You're going to have some bad ones. But at least we got them. Alright? So critics, stop blaming the fans. Saying they're more angrier now. You started it. You should somehow start talking to them one-on-one, behind the scene. Start being friends with them, because you're the grandfather of the hatred. You started the hatred. John Campea, Padme Sucks, is right there. You can read it. I put the websites down below. It's all there, people. Study it. Read it. The hatred is all from the critics. They started it with the prequels. Okay? They act like they know what makes a good movie. They don't know shit. If they did, they would have been making movies, but they weren't good enough. So now they got to bash everybody else for doing it. Okay? So guys, I appreciate this kind of hardcore talk. Leave me some comments. Leave me some messages. And maybe I can take your comments and messages and do another Star Wars talk and expand even more. And if some of you want to join me on this show, call in and talk to me on my next Star Wars talk next week, let me know. I'll call you right on the phone. I'll put you on the screen. Let's do this, baby. Have a nice day.
For the writing is atrocious.
Don't like the prequels. Don't like the prequels.
I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it and let you know that, oh, this movie, well, there's some good things. It's terrible. Everything about it. It's an awful movie.
You know, backwards thinking cousin humpers. No.
I do appreciate that aspect.
I don't care anymore. How about that? I don't care about this movie. You shouldn't care about this movie.
Cousin humper. You just are. Just breed yourself out of existence, please.
I do appreciate that aspect.